Today, we're going deep into what has to be one of the most harrowing, most terrifying jobs in all of modern warfare, the tunnel rat. We're going to crawl right into the darkness with them to understand what made this job so unbelievably deadly.
Just let that sink in for a second. This quote just perfectly captures the absolute isolation of this job. Your entire connection to the world, to safety, to your buddies, it's a piece of string. That's it. It's just you, a light, and the darkness. So why did this job even exist in the first place? Well, U.S. forces in Vietnam ran into a massive, and I mean massive, problem. The Viet Cong had built this enormous, hidden network of tunnels. This entire subterranean battlefield made all the usual ways of fighting a war pretty much useless. I want you to try and put yourself in their boots for a minute. You're a new soldier, you've just arrived, ready to fight, and you find out the enemy isn't just in the jungle in front of you. They're literally living right under your feet. This invisible, constant threat, well, it created this unbelievable level of anxiety, and it demanded a whole new breed of soldier. And this really shows you this stark difference. It's a tale of two completely separate battlefields. Above ground, war is terrifying, for sure, but there's a structure to it. You've got your team, you've got air support, but down below, all of that is just gone. You are completely on your own in a tight, suffocating space in total darkness. And this is who they sent down there, the tunnel rat. Now, here's the part that just blows my mind every single time. These were volunteers. Yeah, no one was ordered to do this job. These soldiers chose to face this unbelievable terror. They chose to go down there and hunt the enemy in their own home. Okay, so we get why they were needed, but what was it actually like to drop into one of those holes? What did they even take with them into that blackness? Look at this loadout. It's almost nothing. Guys on the surface have rifles, grenades, all this gear. A tunnel rat went in with just the bare essentials. A pistol, a flashlight, a knife, and that all-important piece of string, their only connection to the living world. That's it. The moment you go in, your entire world just shrinks down to that single, narrow beam of your flashlight. It is intensely claustrophobic. The air is thick and stale. The only things you can hear are your own heart pounding and the sound of your body scraping against the dirt. Every one of your senses is either just shut off or it's screaming at you that you are in mortal danger. And that danger was very, very real. See, these tunnels weren't just hiding spots. They were active, weaponized environments. They were a labyrinth of horrors, specifically designed to kill anyone who was brave or crazy enough to enter. So, what exactly was down there with them in that pitch-black maze? Well, the answer is basically a multi-layered nightmare. And you can really break it down into 3 types of danger. First, you've got the human enemy, Viet Cong soldiers who knew these tunnels like the back of their hand. Second, you had the tunnels themselves, which were just one giant booby trap. And third, and this is where it gets really terrifying, they weaponized the jungle itself. Let's start with the man-made stuff. Tripwires, connected to grenades, basically invisible in the dark. One tiny, careless move, and it's all over. Then you had hidden trapdoors. You're crawling along, and what looks like solid ground just gives way, dropping you into a pit lined with sharpened bamboo stakes. They called them punji sticks. Absolutely brutal. And then there was the wildlife. The Viet Cong would actually put venomous snakes into little chambers as living booby traps. They even used one called the 3-step snake. The name comes from the belief that after it bites you, you can take about 3 more steps before you drop dead. It wasn't just snakes either. You might crawl through a rigged section and have a box of scorpions fall on you. Or you could crawl right into a nest of giant, aggressive centipedes. In the pitch black, literally anything could kill you. But you know, for the few who actually managed to survive all that, the war was far from over. The psychological price they paid was enormous, and it would stick with them for the rest of their lives. I mean, think about what this does to your mind. The intense claustrophobia, being totally cut off from humanity, that constant flood of adrenaline from hunting an enemy you can't see, it's a perfect storm for deep, lasting psychological trauma. And this quote, it sums it all up, doesn't it? How could you ever explain that to somebody back home? The experience of fighting a war, completely alone, underground, in the dark. They fought an invisible war, and they came home with invisible scars. Which really leaves us with just one final sobering question. Knowing everything you now know, the darkness, the traps, the snakes, the complete and total isolation, if you were there, faced with that choice, could you have answered the call? Could you volunteer?